All right, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to build this simple ice cream application that I found on Pinterest. So this is just going to be a simple UI. So as you can see on the start screen, we have the ice cream image in the background. Then we have this Google font that I got from the Google font package, and then we have a button here to proceed to the home screen. So let's go there. So on the home screen, we simply have some greetings here and the name. Then we have just some fancy text there, here and there, and then we have the popular. This is just the UI. I'm not. Uh, there is little logic here. So when we go on the, as you can see here on the popular, we have a horizontal list view, which is having products as well. And then when we go down here, there's another category of which just simply says the new in. So this is the popular, and then these are the new in. So the new in is just basically a vertical list view, and this is actually not going anywhere. So here on the horizontal list view, when we click on the product, it takes us to the product. So the product has the product name, then the product flavor, then the price, the description, and its own color in the background, its own background color, I would say. So let's go back here. So if we were to select another product, let's say the avocado delight, it's, as you can see, it's going to have its own color for the buttons, for the background, and everything. So this is just something I picked up on Pinterest. So if you, this is something that you would like to build as well and follow through so that you can learn how to make your own user interfaces in Flutter, you can watch this video. So with all that said, let's get started. All right, so to get everyone up to speed, we, in the main.dat, we have the home screen. We're simply just returning the home screen. Then inside the screens folder, we have the home screen, which is just simply returning a scaffold. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up with a folder structure. We're going to have the constants, the models, and the widgets folders. So I'm going to explain these as we get through them. So let me make the folders. All right, so the constants folder is going to house the colors that we're going to use throughout the application. So let me take you here. It's going to have these colors. These are the colors I got from the design that I found on Pinterest. So this color, and the colors for the, what is it? Yeah, the background colors, and yeah, the background colors for every product that's in there, and then the design, the colors for the entire design of the application. So let's go here inside the code, inside the constants. We're going to create a class. We'll say we're simply just going to call it app colors. So inside the app colors, we're simply just going to create a class and simply call it app colors, just as the name we've given it. So inside the app colors, this is where we're going to have our colors for our entire application. So don't mind that. That is just Copilot doing its thing. All right, so let's do that. All right, so these are our colors. So let's just simply import the material. All right, so I have these colors on my GitHub. I'll push the code when we're done with this application. So we're done with the constants. So you can go through this. So firstly, we have the background color, which is just white. And then we have the card color, which is just pink for the cards. And then we have the yellow. And then we have the pink again. Then we have the constants for the constant black custom, which is just simply going to be for the black areas of the application. So let's go here. So inside the screens, we're going to start with the screens. So inside the screens, we have the home screen already, this one here. And then before we get to the home screen, we have to make the start screen. Okay. And then this is also just simply going to be a stateless widget. All right, so this is our start screen. So inside the start screen, we're simply going to have a start widget. This is, let me go back to the design. So inside the start widget, we're going to have the image in the background. Then in the foreground, we're going to have this container which has border radius on the left side, and on the right side, there's no border radius. And then we're going to have these fonts. So this is just simply one font that we're going to get from the Google Fonts package. So we're going to install those as well. Then we're going to have an arrow inside the an arrow icon inside the button. And then when we click this, it will take us to the home screen. So let's make this. So here we're going to have a stack. Then this stack is going to have children, right? So the children, sorry about that. So the first child is going to be the image. Okay. So here we're going to use the position field. So say position, don't mind that position. Then inside the position, we're going to say position dot field. Right. So inside the position, we're simply just going to remove a bit of this, then format it. Then it's going to have a child. Replace the child back. All right. Google, the Copilot was a bit obstructing, so I've turned off my data. So inside here, we're going to have an image. So we can simply say image dot asset. So this is just we use assets for the local images, but if you are fetching these images from somewhere else, you use the network. So here we're going to say assets. So inside the asset, I had put an assets folder during the setup. So this is you're going to find these images on my GitHub. So I currently have the images here. These are the images that we're going to use for the app, right? So these are going to be the ice cream images, and yeah, the ice cream images basically. So we're going to have these images right here, and then the images for the ice creams as well. So let's do that. Right. So with that, but firstly we have to come here to the PubSpec to YAML. Then this is usually commented like this. So you just have to uncomment it. Then you say assets. So here you put the name of the folder, then you put a forward slash so that it picks everything inside these assets, right? So here, the next thing we're going to have, let's go back to the design. The next thing we're going to have is firstly, we're going to have the background image. Then we're going to have these fonts from the Google Fonts. So we have to install that package as well. So as you can see, I don't have it here. Okay, so when you install it, it's going to show down here under the Cupertino icons. All right, so we're simply just going to run this command to add these two packages. So firstly, we have the Google Fonts, which we're going to use for the fonts as I had explained. Then we're going to have the font awesome, which is just simply going to be used for the icons. So here we can press enter. Then when that finishes loading, then our packages are going to be added to our project. All right, so we're done with the setup. So as you can see, we have these two packages that we have just installed here. So let's go back to the start screen. So inside the start screen, we're going to say assets. Then you have to make sure you're using the name of the folder that you had put in the root of your project. So assets. Then we say forward slash. Don't mind this. Okay, forward slash. Then when we go here, right? So we're going to have an image that we're going to pick from here. So we're going to go down here. So the image that we're going to use is the intro 4, which is just this ice cream background. Okay. So we simply just pick it as it is right there. So intro in 4. Then it's a JPEG, so we say JPG. All right, so next is we're going to give it a box fit so that it fits the entire screen. All right, so we've put the box fit, but before we do that, let's see how it's looking like. So for us to see that, we have to come to the the main dot, then we just simply remove the home screen and replace it with the start screen. All right, so then we can come here and just remove the home screen from there. Then we just simply reload and see the changes that we've made so far to the start screen. All right, so this is what we have so far. I had to reboot the app so that everything loads. So it usually gives an error when you just want to refresh when you've added Google Fonts and images. So the images that I had were different from these that I'm having here. So I just realized that a few minutes ago. So I've replaced them with these images that are meant for this specific application. So here, as we can see, we've reached this level. We have the home screen of the start screen with the image as the background. So this image, we're going to have a container on top of it. So the container is going to have that container is going to have the text and the button is right here, right? So let's get to that. So this container is going to have the width of double.infinity, and then it's going to have a height of 350. Then we're going to have the decoration. So inside the decoration, we're going to have the color and the border radius, which is going to be circular on the left part of it. So let's do that. Let me add the colors. So the color that is going to be there is going to be a little bit transparent. It's going to have an opacity of 0 0.9. So let's do that. All right. So with opacity, also this is deprecated, so you're not advised to use this. So you can use this, you can use the with value in place of this, but this is just a simple video that we're making. So here we're going to say only, so that we just target a single specific part of our container to have the border radius. So we're going to say top left. Right. So on the top left, we're going to give it the border radius, the radius of circular. Then we give it 30. Right. So far so good. All right, let's see what we have now. All right, so as you can see, we currently don't have, we have not aligned this, so this is just stacking on top of the background image. So we have to, we are going to give it the align widget. So simply just come here and say cover wrap with widget, then we say align, and inside there we're going to give it where it's supposed to be. So we're going to say alignment, then we give it bottom center. So let's reload that. All right, so we have the container where we want it. So inside the container, we're going to have a child, right? So the child of this container is simply just going to be a column. So child, if we say column, we give it children. Right, so let me format this again. Put this on the next line so that it's easier for you guys to read. Right, so the first child is going to be a text, which is just simply going to say freeze, and it's going to be pink, right? And then it's going to have a font weight of bold, and it's going to be of size 50. And then the font is going to be Merienda, and I don't know if I'm butchering that. All right, so let's give it a text. So firstly, we have the text. So we've given it the Google fonts, and it's the specific font is Merienda, and we're going to give it a font size of 50. And we just say 50. All right, then we're going to give it a font weight. And make it bold. All right, so next we're going to give it a color. So the color is going to come from our constant. So here we're going to pick the pink color. So we can just simply use this pink custom. So let's go back here. So here, let me show you how we can do this. So we're simply just going to import the app colors class. Colors, we have to import that. So we import the app colors class. Then here we give it a pink custom, right? So yeah, that's it for this first text. So let's reload and see what we have. All right, so next we just have to remove this yellow thing by putting the text decoration to be none. Then let's reload it and see what we have. All right, so far so good. So here inside the column, we're going to give it a cross-axis alignment of start so that we move this text to the edge of the container, right? All right, so that's what we have so far. Then we just have to give it a little bit of some padding. But before we do that, let's firstly write the other text. So the other text is going to be to complete perfection. So let's copy. But first, let me just start with this. Then I just copy the entire thing. So we're going to give it a padding, and the padding is just simply going to be of okay. Let's say only. So let me just give it for the left. So left, and we simply say 16. Right. So let's reload and see what we have. All right, so giving it a little bit of some padding. Then on top here, we can give it a sized box of 20, 40 to give it some space on top here, right? So we can just use this suggested by Copilot. Let me just make it 40. All right, so far so good. Then we can just simply copy this padding and the text inside. Then we come here, then we paste it there. Then we can change the font size, or we can leave it like that. So we're just simply going to say to complete perfection, right? So here we're going to change this one to the white that we have. Where is the constant? So we currently have the white, so we can give it a PG color, right? So we can just simply copy this and go back to the start screen. And right here, we can just remove the custom pink, then just paste this, right? Which is going to give it a white color. So let's reload this, see what we have. All right, so far so good. Yeah, it's starting to look like our design. All right, so outside this container, we're no no no, yeah, just outside this container, we're going to have a button that is going to take us to the home screen. So this is also just simply going to be a container which is going to be aligned to the bottom right. All right, so let's do that. All right, so inside this container, we're going to give it a height and a width of both 70, right? So I was actually outside of it. So we give it a height of 70, the width of 70 as well. Then next we give it a box decoration. So the box decoration is going to have the up color, of which is just going to be the custom pink that we have right here. And then the next thing is we're going to have the it's going to be the box shape is going to be of a circle, and yeah, just give it a custom color. And then inside there we're going to have an icon button which is going to take us to the home screen when clicked, right? So let's do that. All right, so giving it a box shape of circle, right? So we can actually reload this and see what we have. All right, so as you can see, the image, the container has also appeared to the top there, right? So we have to wrap this with the alignment. So just come here, wrap with widgets, and say align, right? So then we can give it the alignment, okay? Simply say alignment. Then we're just going to make use of Copilot here. Then we give it the alignment, which is just going to be bottom right, so that it comes down there to the right. So say alignment dot bottom right. Give it a comma here to get rid of that error. Right. So let's reload to see it come down here. All right. So there it is. So down here, we're going to wrap this with a padding, right? So let's wrap the alignment, the alignment and the container inside with a padding. So this padding is going to be only that we just get specific parts of the widget. So say only, then we give it bottom 50, and then right we move it a little bit by 16. So say bottom, then bottom we give it 50.0. Then on the right part we give it 16.0. So let's reload this. All right, so we have it right there. So far so good. So the next thing is we have to give this container a child, right? So this child is going to be an icon button, which is just simply going to have a function when pressed to route us to the screen, to the home screen, I mean. So here we say icon button, right? So this icon button is going to expect the function as one of its arguments. So it's going to expect the function, and then here it's going to expect icon widget. So we'll say icon. So, but before we go any further, we actually installed this. Let's go here to the pub spec YAML, sorry, not the pub log. All right, so we actually installed the font awesome, which we're going to use for our fonts. So we can just simply, sorry about that. We simply remove this and we say FA icon, and then this is for font awesome. Right, so we're going to import this on top right here. So we have font awesome imported on top. Let's go down here. So here we're simply going to say, don't mind the code suggestions because that's not the code I'm going to write anyway. We say font awesome. Then we give it the angle right. All right. So first, for some reason, let's pick the right one. All right. So angle right, and we give it a size of 30. So let me format this so that it's easier for you guys to read. Right. And the size, we put it down there as well. Right. So this is what we have so far. Then, all right. So this is using the BG color, which is the whitish color. Then here we are going to have a navigator dot push, which is just going to route us to the home screen. All right. All right. So we have the navigator dot push, which is having the material page route, which takes us to the home screen when pressed. So let's reload to see what we have. All right. So this is what we have so far. So we can press next. Then it takes us to the home screen. So now we're going to start working on the home screen. But before we do that, because since we have a lot of images in our home screen. Let me take you there. So we have all these images in our home screen and their design. So we are going to have these widgets, right? These are popular widgets and the greetings and everything. These are going to be reusable widgets that we're just going to put there. And then we have the new in. And then here we have our horizontal list view, which is just going to have the ice creams, and then down here we're going to have a vertical list view. So when we zoom in, this is the part where we have the popular. So the popular section has a horizontal list view, and then the new in category of products is going to be a vertical list view. So let's go there. So here we start with the home screen now, but before we do that, let's create a model. So here we're going to say product dot which is just simply going to be a class, and then we name it the same name that we've just given the file name. So we say class, then we say product, right? Right. So let me go through this. So the product is going to have properties as this is suggesting. So it's going to have properties, a constructor, and we're going to deserialize and serialize this data. So firstly, we're going to convert all the properties to data objects and then serialize it to JSON, and then we're going to have a list of products of way. Okay, this is going to be a list of products that are going to be list of objects of products. So I'm going to show you. Let's get to that. So firstly, we're going to have the properties. All right. So these are the properties that we have. Firstly, we have the ID, the name. Don't mind this, but the ID, the name, the price, the image, then the color. For the color, we have to import the material, right? So we have the material there, right there. Say, so we have the, all right, so we have the properties here. We have the price, image, name, product, color, description, location, and flavor. So here, the next thing is we're going to have a constructor. So as it is suggesting here, we just simply put the constructor and all those things go. So here, the next thing is we're going to convert it to a dot object, which is going to use the factory.map. All right, so let me show. Sorry, not the factory.map. So firstly, we're going to have the factory. Don't mind this code suggestions from Copilot. All right, let me just turn off my data. All right, so I've turned off data to avoid these frustrations that are going to be coming. So it's these are just saved a bit. All right, so we're simply just going to say product. Then the product we're going to say simply grab it from. We're going to say from JSON. All right, from JSON. Then inside here, well, let me just explain from what it's suggesting. So here we're going to have a map, and it's going to have string and dynamic. So this string, it means it's going to expect a string, right? And then dynamic means it can receive any type of data that can come from there. So it's supposed to receive that as well. So it's just simply accept this, right? So this is what we have so far. So we have the JSON here. So this JSON is what we're going to use for our project overall product object. So simply going to say ID, then JSON, then inside here we put the ID. So these are going to be the exact names that we're going to use to access our products. All right. So next we're going to serialize this. So this serialization will be us converting it back to a JSON. So let's say map. Then this is also going to have um, a string dynamic. So string is supposed to be capital S. So string, then dynamic, right? So here we simply just say we take it back to JSON. So we simply say it to JSON, right? JSON. Then here we use an arrow function. Then inside this arrow function, this is where we're going to put, okay, right? So this here is going to be, firstly, we're going to have the ID, right? Then we get the ID from the properties, right? So we're going to do this for all the properties that we have for our product, right? So I'm going to fast forward this part because I'm just going to do the same repetitive thing, right? So this is what we have so far. So we're taking it back to JSON. The next, we're going to make a list. So this is just going to be a simply mock DB. So it's going to be a list of products. So we're going to come down here and say static. Then it's going to be a list. Okay. Then it's going to have a product here. Then we call it, let's just simply call it ice creams. Right. Ice creams. And oh, can't spell. Creams. Then here it's going to be a list. We can give it a semicolon down here. So here I have a list of products that I'm just going to put in there. You can find the code in the description. So I'm just going to do that first. All right, so this is the list that we have of products. So we have the products with different IDs. So as you can see, the IDs are all different, right? Right, so we are done with the model class. So you can just go to the home screen now. So inside this home screen, we're going to make an instance of a products class. So we can come here. So here, we're simply going to say final. Then we call it products. Then we just simply say product. Right, so we import the products right there on top. Then inside the product, we're going to access the ice creams. So we do this, then we just simply remove the constant here. Right. So inside here, let's do this. Right, so inside the scaffold for the home screen, so inside here, we're going to have the body. And then inside the body, we're going to have a single child scroll view. So this is a widget used when you want to make a single widget, or which is scrollable if its content is too large to fit on the screen, right? So like we have it here. So we have this that is scrolling in the horizontal view, and then we have this in the vertical list view as well. So this is going to be a lot of things inside the widget. So we're going to have a single child scroll view. So here we simply say body. So inside the body, we're going to have, this is where we're going to put the single child scroll view. Then inside here, we're going to have a column as a child, all right? So say child, sorry about that. I've discovered I can spell. So child, then it's going to be a column. All right, should then we give it children. All right, so we're simply just going to format this. So inside here, inside the column, we're going to have a custom widget on top, which is just going to, we're just simply going to name the top bar. Then next, let's go here. Next, we're going to have the greetings. Then after the greetings, we're going to have this fancy text. Then after the fancy text, we're going to have the popular, which is just going to be a row that is going to have the space between, right? So it's going to have a field icon and then the popular here. So this is what we're going to have on the top section. So this is going to be sat alone, and then we're going to have the greetings and the fancy text just right there. So firstly, we're going to go inside the widgets. So here we're going to create a widget called the top bar widget. So we say top bar widget dot dot, of which is just simply going to be a stateless widget. All right, so this is the top bar widget. So let's get started here. So let's look at the design. So we're simply just going to have a container that is going to have an icon of a person, and then we're going to have, in zoom in, we're going to have a shopping bag right here. So you can consider that as a cart, or just basically a bag. And then in here we're going to have a person icon, right? So let's do that. So here we simply give it a row, children, right? Then let's do this a bit. So here the first child is going to be an icon with the person inside. All right, so the first section of this is going to have a container of, well, let's make it. So it's a container, and just move this. So container, and the container is going to have a width and height of 40. So width, say 40. Then the height as well, we give it a height of 40, right? 40. Then the next thing is we're going to give it a decoration. This is where we're going to put the color and some sort of a border radius to make it rounded a little bit. So we say decoration, then we say box decoration. So here we're going to use the colors from our custom colors that we have in our app colors. So we say colors so that we import that class, then we are able to access the pink custom color from our custom colors class. So here we say border radius, so it's a BR border radius. Then the border radius, we're simply just going to make it circular. So we say border radius, then we just say the circular. Then we can give it a border radius of 5. So here we're done with that. Then inside the container, we can give it a child. So this child is just simply going to be an icon. So we say, okay, icon. Then inside here, we simply say icons dot, then we say person, all right? Then we give it a size of say 30. Then we give it a color of white. So the color, we're going to also get it from the app colors. So app colors.bg, color of which is white, all right? So here, let's go to the home screen and just simply import this so that we keep seeing the design as we're doing it. So we can see top bar widget. All right, so just import this, then we can reload it. All right, so as you can see, it's right there on the top. So we can come. We're still in the home screen, right? So we can go to the home screen and wrap that inside the self area, right? Right. So this just simply wrap this widget. I would say self area. Right. So let's reload this. All right. So it's moved it down a little bit. All right. So we can come here inside the column. So let me format this so that we're able to add more things accordingly. So format the column. Then inside the column, we're going to give it a size box of 50 on top. Right? So given it the size box with the height of 50, so it brings it down a little bit. So let's format this. I don't know why it keeps saving and keeps formatting it like this. All right, so we can go back to the top bar widget. So here we're inside the row. So inside the row, we're going to have another icon. So we can just copy this right here, then put it right there. So this icon is going to be, we're just simply going to change this to shopping bag, right? Say shopping. Right? So then we change the color. We give it the color of give it a custom pink, right? So right there. Right. So let's see what we have. Right. So there you go. So far so good. So here we just come here, oh, not there, in the column. Then there we can say the main axis alignment. Then we give it the main axis alignment of space between. All right. So let's see what we have now. All right. So far so good. Right. Okay, so we can just simply wrap this with a padding. We give it some padding so that it's away from the edges. So give it let's make it symmetric so that we just put the padding on the horizontal axis. All right, so we say horizontal, horizontal, then we give it 16. So I usually put 16 for my screens. All right, so let's reload this. All right, so far so good. This is what we have, and if we can look at our design, yeah, that is coming accordingly. All right, so the next thing is we have to say the greetings, then just some fancy text, then we go to the popular. All right, so let's go to the home screen. All right, so inside the home screen, we're just simply going to have. Let me see. Where is it? We're simply going to have these two, right? So here we can say greeting, right? So the greetings, I think to make this a bit tidy, we can make a simple widget for them. So we can just say greetings to dot. And it's just going to be a stateless widget that is just simply going to have a column. So we say stateless widget, then say greetings. Greetings, then we just simply import the material. Right, so that goes. So here we can just simply retain a column, which is just simply going to have children. So children in the first child, the first and second child, these are just going to be text widgets that we're going to have here. So here we have the greeting, of which is just simply saying my name, hello Michael. Right, so say hello Michael. Then we give it a light, give it this. black color that we have in our custom colors, right? So here, then we also import the up colors, and we give it not that, just give it some black custom. Then we can come down here. So here we're just going to give it a bit of some styling. We're going to give it a font size, right? So we have the font size. Then we this doesn't basically have a lot of so much font weight, right? So all right, so the font size of 30, then we can give it a font weight of the weight of 500, I think. So let's say font weight. All right, so I've given it the font weight of 500. So let's reload this and see what we have. All right, so my bad. I actually haven't imported the greetings widget inside our home screen. So we can say greetings. All right, so let's reload this. All right, so as we can see, the greetings is on the center of the screen. So we can go back to the greetings. This is where we're going to style it from. So we're going to give it the cross-axis alignment of start. So we give it cross-axis alignment, then we give it start. All right, so we can reload this and see what we have. Right, so I've just remembered inside the home screen, we also have this column here. So let's firstly finish with the greetings, then we can style we can format the column for the home screen as well. So here, the next thing is we are going to give it a bit of some height. So the height, we're going to use a sized box. So a sized box, so it's going to give the the height between the greetings and this fancy text right here. So here we're going to give it a height of 10. So say 10, height and 10. Right. So down here, this is where we're going to write our other text. Right. So we just copy this to save time on the video. So here we just simply write what flavor do you want today, right? Then we give it the font size of 18. Then we can change this to simply turn it down like to 400. All right, so here, next thing is where, as you can see, the color for the greetings and the color for the additional text is not the same, right? So here we're simply just going to say, give it the color. So we're going to say colors.gray. Okay, then we give it a gray of 500. All right, so let's reload to see what we have. All right, so that's what we have so far. Then we can just bring this size down to 25 so that it's not too big. Right, that's more like it. So let's go back to the home screen and solve this other issue that we have. So, but before we do that, we can go back to the greetings and just simply copy this so that we save time on the video. Okay, so we go here inside the column, then we just paste the cross-axis alignment, then we reload this. All right, so our text is moved to the edge of the screen. So here we can come and just copy the size box inside our home screen. Then come down the top bar widget, then just put this. Then we can give it some height. So let's see how much height this might be. All right, so this is maybe okay. That's not so much height. So we can give it to let's give it a height of 30 to see how it will look like. Right, that looks like it. So let's go back to the greetings. So inside the greetings, we can wrap this entire column with a padding, right? So wrap with padding. Let's go here. Where is the padding? Padding. Then we just give it symmetric as well, and we just maintain the 16. Then we say horizontal. horizontal, then we give it 16.0. Then when we load this, yeah, so when we reload that, we now we see the text has moved to the in the same line as the icons we had made earlier. All right, so what's next? Let's go to the design. So inside the design, we have this popular, right? So this popular widget. So this is also just going to be a widget that we're going to make that is just going to be here. And let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so let's make the popular widget, right? All right, so this is going to be a filter. So say filter for say popular filtered. Then there's going to be a stylus widget. All right, sorry about that. All right, so filter for popular. Then we just simply import the material. All right. So here we're going to have a row, right? So inside this row, we're going to have children. All right, so we're going to have children. So this child, we can just come here inside our inside our greetings, then just copy that text, then bring it here. Then here we also import the colors, right? So this is just basically going to be of the same design. Then we can also just copy. Let's go in our top bar. We can just copy this, right? Copy the icon so that we don't waste much time on this, right? So we can come here, then just paste it right there. All right. So so far so good. Then we can just uh, change this to font awesome. So save FA icon. All right. So we import. Then in here we just simply replace this. So we say font awesome icons. Then we just give it filter. All right, which is just simply going to have the same color of right, let me pick the filter of pink custom. Right, so let's reload this. All right, so far no errors, so we can just simply import the filter popular. All right, filter for popular. So we go here. So after the greetings, we're going to have some space. So we give it the size box again. Then we give it a height. So let's see how much distance is there between the two. So this there's not much distance, so we just give it 10. All right, so we get this. We have to import the filter for popular. Right, so you can simply just go here as a shortcut to import the other widgets or packages or whatever. So here we can give it a comma so that that error goes. So then we reload, see what we have. All right, so we didn't change so we can go back here to popular, filter for popular. Then we just replace this with the word popular. Right? So this is what we have so far. But here we're going to give it main axis alignment, which is going to have space between, and then we're going to give it some some cross axis or some padding to move it in the same line as these other widgets. So we give it the main axis alignment, right? Space between, right? Let's reload. Right, as you can see, the text has changed, and then there's some space between the two. All right, so here we just wrap it with some padding, right? So the padding, then we just replace this with symmetric. Then we go inside the horizontal. Then simply we maintain the 16. All right, so far so good. All right, so the next thing is we're going to design the cards that is going to the cards that are going to be displaying the products in our application. So this is going to be a horizontal list view. So firstly, we have to come here to the widgets. Then inside the widgets, we're going to design a product card, right? So let's do that. So say product card dot. This is going to be another stateless widget. All right. So inside the product card widget, so we're going to have an instance of the product model. So we're simply just going to say product. Then we say product. So then we just come here and just require it as well, so that we get to give properties wherever we are getting it from. So we say required, then this dot, then we just simply get this product right here. But this is going to throw an error as long as we have not imported the product from the product model. All right, so in here we're going to have a container. So this container is going to go here. So this is the entire container, which is going to have the image, the name, and the price, right? All right. So let me go back. Let me take you back to the product card. So basically, we're just going to be having these properties here for each product. So it's going to have a name, an ID, the description, and the location, image. Most importantly, the image. Then the product color for the background color when you go to the product details page, and then the flavor as well. So let's go back to the product card to finish up. All right, so product card. So here inside the container, we're going to give it some decoration, right? So inside the decoration, so inside the decoration, we're going to give it the color. So the color is going to be, we're going to get it from the app colors. So app colors, right? So app colors, we import that. Then we say we pick the custom thing. Oh, sorry, we keep the card thing for the card. All right. So the next thing is we're going to give it a border radius. So here, then the border radius, which we make it circular, and then we give it 10. So that it's not too much. All right, so we give it the child. The child is going to be a column, right? So child, then we say column. Then inside here, this is where we're going to have children. So we can bring it down here. All right. So the first child we're going to have is the image, right? So the image is going to be, it's going to be inside the clip rect. So which is going to be inside and expanded so that it takes the space of the screen, that space specified for it on the screen. All right, so we say clip rect, right? Clip rect. Then inside the clip rect, sorry about that. So inside the clip rect, we're going to have the child, which is going to be the image first. So the child going to be image dot, since we're getting these images from our local from our local application. So this is just going to be assets. We're going to get it from the assets. If you are getting these from, say, some API or some server out there, or some database out there hosted, you are going to use the network. So here we use this. Then inside here, this is what we're going to do. Inside the image, we're just going to simply use the product to access the image. So as you can see, you can use the word product to access everything here. So we have the image. So inside the image, we're going to give it some properties as well. Give it the width of double.infinity. Then we give it the box fit of contain, right? So here we're just simply going to wrap this inside expanded, right? Like that. Then inside the clip rect right here, so we go here, we're going to give it a border radius, of which is just going to be vertical. Okay, so we'll say border radius, right? Then we give it, okay, border radius of vertical. Then we say top. Then we give it a border radius of circular. Then we just simply say 5, right? Then, but first of all, we would want to see these things on the screen. So we have to go back to the home screen. So inside the home screen, we have these products right here. So this is what we're going to use to access those. All right. So inside the column, we're going to come down after the filter popular, just right here. So right here is where we're going to display a vertical or horizontal list view of our products, right? So here, this is where we're going to display our, let me copy this. This is where we're going to display our products. So we can just simply change the spacings to 25. Then here, we can have another, let me just paste the same size box. So in here, we're going to give it children. So we're going to have a size box that's going to have, right, let me do this. So this size box is what is going to house the horizontal list view, right? So here we say we give it the width, the height, so let's say the height of 350, which is so much height. Then the width, we let it occupy the entire width of the screen. So we say double dot infinity, right, like that. Then next document we give it is the child, of which is going to be a list view builder. So say list view, right? So say the builder. So inside here, let me go down here. So inside here, so first thing we're going to give it is the item count, so that it keeps a hold of the number of products that we're going to fetch through. So we'll say products dot, then we just give it the length, right, so that it gets the entire length of the product. So then we can give it the scroll direction, of which is very important in our case. So then the scroll direction, we're going to specify the axis, of which is going to be horizontal, so that it scrolls in the horizontal, it scrolls horizontally. So we remove this. Then here we can give it the context and the index, so to keep track of the index of the products we are at. So we say context, then index. Then we come out here and we give it this. So in here, we're going to have a variable called product, right, which is going to be, so we give it products, the products that we have right here on top, this one, products, which is a list of products. So inside the list of products, we are going to have an index, right? So yeah, we're going to have an index, and then okay, so this is supposed to be like this. Then the name is products. Sorry about that. So products, right? So after that, we're going to have another size box, of which is going to have the width of 220. So here we're simply going to return. So we return the sized box, of which is going to have the width of 220. Don't worry about this. I'm going to format this, right? So then we give it the child. So this is where it gets interesting. The child is going to be the product card, right? So product, we just simply fetch the product card, right? So the product card is going to have an argument, all right, which is going to get this product card we're from making right here. Where is it? this one, this product card. So we just simply put it in here, then we put a semicolon so it gets formatted. All right, so we're simply just going to give this a little bit of some padding. All right, so we go here, we'll say padding, then we give it the padding of only, so only, and then we give it right of just 20.0. All right, so we can reload this. All right, so this is what we have so far. And as you can see, it's just only fetching images currently. So let's go back to the product card. So inside our product card, we're going to add, let me take you to the design. So inside the product card, we're going to add the name, the price, the add to cart button. And as we had noticed earlier, if you click on the product, it's going to take you to a specific product screen, right? Okay, so like this is going to take us to this specific product screen if we were to click on it. So currently we don't have that feature. We have to wrap it inside a gesture detector so that it takes us the on pressed so that it reacts to the interaction that the user gives it. All right, so inside here, we're going to go outside the clip rect and outside the expanded. So this is where we're going to finish adding the properties of the product, right? So let's go down here. So next thing is, if from the design, the next thing we have to deal with, let me go back to the, yeah, so from the design, the next thing we have to add is the name, then the price, right? So let's do that. So here, we're going to have a column. So this column is going to have children, as usual. So the first child is going to be the price, right? So which is just going to be simply be text. So inside here, we're going to say text, then we put the backslash, then we put the dollar signs. All right, so I'm going to simply say product, right? What do we have on top here? Oh, so that's just simply product, product. Then we use the products to access what we need. So what we need is the price. So the price, we're going to convert it to string as fixed, right? To yes, to string as fixed, right? So that it gets to fractional digits. So here we're going to give it 2, right? Then here we're going to give it a little bit of some styling, right? So the style, we're just going to give it a little bit of some style. So we just simply use text style. We don't want to waste much time here. All right, so give it the size, the font size, and the font weight. So far so good. Let's see what we have. All right, so as we can see, this is totally so far away from what we have in the final mix. So this is what we have, and I made a mistake. The first thing we're supposed to have was the name. So we can just simply copy this. Before the price, we put the name, right? So then we can just simply remove all of this. Okay, let me also remove quotation mark. Then we just simply say product dot. Then we just give the name, right? So we can reload this. And the product name is going to have a text that is going to be actually going to be bigger. So we say 18. And yeah, let's just make this bold, right? So that it has a font weight that is bigger than the one for the price, right? So the next thing is we can come down down here. So what we're going to have is a row. Okay, we can come inside the same column and come down here. So the next row we're going to have is this row that is going to have the rating and the add to cart button, right? So here we get the row. The row is going to have children. So the first child is going to be the star, right? So here to do that, we're going to get we're going to use an icon widget for the star, right? So and then we are going to have a container after the star. We're going to have a container that is going to hold the plus icon from front awesome to indicate the adding to the cart button. All right, so let's do that. All right, so we get the icon of which is just simply going to be a star, and then it's going to have a shade of 600. All right, so down here we are going to make a container. All right, so the decoration, then we're going to give it the color of white, and then going to give it a border radius of circular. Okay, then we can go outside the box decoration. Then there we're going to have a child, of which is just going to be a font awesome icon plus. All right, so let me show you this plus right here, and then the container is currently white using the BG color. Then yeah, this is just basically it. And then we're going to give it main axis alignment spacing of space between, so that we have space between the star icon and the add to cart button, right? So let's do that. So here we give it a child. Child is just simply going to be um, an FA icon for font awesome. FA icon of which we have to import. So we can simply come here, import, then inside here we simply say font awesome. All right, font awesome, then we say plus. All right, so this we're going to give it the same color as the 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 container, the main container. All right, so here we say color. The color we give it the up color, right? Then here we give it the card pink for the because it's the same color as the card that we have for our product. So here we go, let's format this. So the next thing is we give it the size of which is just going to be 20. All right. So let's refresh to see what we have. All right. So this is what we have so far. So you can see, right? So this is what we have. So we can come here on the font awesome so that we just center the icon. So we center that icon. Then we can come here. Then we give it the main axis alignment of space between. We'll say main axis alignment. All right, so we give it some main axis alignment of space between. Let's reload that. All right, so we have some spacings between. All right, so far so good, right? Right. So we can come here and we can give it the cross axis alignment of start, right? Right. And reload this to move everything from the center right here. The text, that is the text, and the the name and the price. So we copy this since this is not the column which the name of the price is in. So we give it right here. Then we reload this. All right. So as you can see, everything is right there in the edges. So we can wrap this container with some padding. Then we give it all. Then let's just reload and see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. All right, so we can go back to the home screen. So let's go back to the home screen and finish it from here. So here we can format the code a little bit. So as we can see, the horizontal list view is so close to the edge. As we can see, it's so close to for the final version of the product, there's some space here, so we have to give it some spacing so that it aligns with um, every widget that's currently on the screen. So we can come here, we can simply just wrap this with some padding. So padding, then we give it symmetric. Okay, so it's symmetric. Then we say horizontal, horizontal. Then we give it 16.0. Then we reload this, and voila, that's what we have so far. So we can scroll through and see our products right there. So, but before we do that, before we go any step further, we can actually make the product screen as well, so that when we click on the specific product, it takes us to the product screen. All right. So to do that, we're going to go back to the product card. So inside the product card, we're just simply going to wrap this with a widget. And then we're going to call this widget a gesture detector. So we say gesture. So the gesture detector is going to expect an on pressed. Sorry, not on pressed. We're going to use the on tap so that when the user taps on a specific product, so it's we're going to use the navigator dot push replacement so that we avoid having the return back. All right, so navigator. All right, so we're going to have a navigator push replacement, which is going to reroute us to the product screen. All right, so let's say product details screen. Okay, so we have not made this screen yet, so we can go to the screens. Okay, so we say product details screen dot. All right, which is just simply going to be a stateless widget as well. All right, so made the product details screen. So inside the product details screen, we're going to require something. So we're simply just going to say final, then we use the product, right? So we say product, then in here, we're just simply going to require. So we say required, then this dot, then we just access this product that we have here. So for us to get rid of these errors, we just simply import the product, right? So inside the product screen, we're simply going to return a scaffold. Then here's where we get started. So here we're going to have the background color for the product for each product. So product background color, then that background color we're going to get it from the product's color. So we say product, then we say dot, then we say it's actually the first one. Say product color. All right. So inside the body, we're going to have a column. So body. All right. So we simply just get a column. Then it's going to have children as well, right? All right. So we can start with the background color for now. So let's go to the product card. So inside the product card, let's go here and import this. So we have to import the product details screen. So we import it. But this is actually going to need an argument. So since it has a product argument, so we add the required argument. So we currently have it, and then we can just simply say product, use the product that we have here to access there, so that it gets everything about the product from our product card, right? So far so good. We just simply have to add a semicolon at the end. Is it right here? All right. So let's reload this. All right, so it does hot reloaded. So we go to the home, the first product. So it displays its color. So let's reload this and all right. So we go to the product screen. Wait, since we're done with the the home screen's first part. So let's go to the product screen, product details screen, I mean. So inside the product details screen, we're going to have the product image, right? And then the details, then let me go to the design so that we see that. All right, so we're going to have the back button, then the image in the center, then the name, then the flavor, then the price, and as well as the description, which is just going to come down here, right? Okay, so let's go back here. So here we can start with the back button. So firstly, we're going to have a container that has a height of 100, then the width of the double dot infinity. Then the background color is going to be the color of the icon that is going to be the color of the I mean sorry the color of the container is going to be of the same color as the product. So let's go down here. So we give it a child. So the child is going to have a row. Then this row is going to have a sized box with the widget of 10. All right, so inside this, we're going to have a gesture detector, and then this is going to have a container, which is going to be of white, right? And then there is going to have some border radius. Then it's going to have an icon of which is angle left, which is just going to simply take us back to the home screen. Let me show you. So what we have made is just this simple button there on top. So we have a container with a height of 100, of which is going to have a width of double dot infinity. And the box decoration is going to be have color of the product color, right? So then it's going inside there is going to have a row, which is just simply going to have a gesture detector, which is going to return a container that is going to have a height of 60 and 50, right? Right. So this is what we have so far. Right. So let's see what we have made. So we currently have just made this simple container right there on top. So the next thing we have to make is we're going to have the image, right? So we give it a comma. So here we say image, okay? Right. So in here, down here, we're just simply going to have the image dot assets. So inside there, we're simply just going to use the product dot, then we look for the image. So we get the image, then the image is going to be, it's going to have a height of 250, right? And let's reload to see what we have made so far. All right, so this is what we have so far. And then we can go here. Then we just put the cross axis alignment to start so that we see which things we can center and those that we can't. Those that we won't just center, right? Not can't, we just won't center them, right? Right. So let's reload this. All right, so since we see where the image is, so we can just come here, image. So we just wrap this with the center, right? So that is going to center our widget, our home image, I mean. All right, so after the image, let's go back to the blueprint. So what we have is this container right here that is going to be white. Then it's going to have the name, the flavor, then this row that is going to have the price and the add or subtract, right? Okay, so let's go down here. Let's add the container. The container. All right, so this container is going to have the height of, let's give it both the height and the width of double dot infinity. right? So the height and the width of double dot infinity, then just give it the decoration. All right, so the decoration is going to have the color of white, for which we're going to get from the up colors from the BG, and then the border radius of only. So we're going to have a border radius on just the top left and the top right. So let's go here. So we're going to have the border radius just here and here. So when you go down there, there's nothing. Right. So let's go here. Then inside the container, we're going to have children. Oh, a child. Sorry, container doesn't take children. It just has a child. Right. So the child of the container is going to be another column. Right. Okay, where am I? Here we say column. Right. So firstly, we give it a size box, which is just going to be the height. Let me show you the this height right here between the top, the just between the top and the name, right? So let's go here. We have given it the height of 30. Then we can go down there to give it the name. All right. So next we give it a text. So the text is going to have the product name and the style. We're going to have the black custom from colors. Then we're going to give it the font size of 25. Then the font weight of 600, right? So then we can just wrap this inside the padding, right? All right, so let's try to reload and see what we have. All right, so this is actually going to give us issues. So because since this is overflowing, all right, so let's go to the product details and on top there, where is the container? So after the image, we're going to have the container. Then we just wrap this with an expanded, right? Then we can reload this and see what we have. All right, so the that has fixed it. The expanded has fixed it. So what do we have? So if we look at this, it's a little bit different from what we have from our previous app design. So we have to move these to the edge. So let's do that. Let's give this a cross-axis alignment. Sorry, cross-axis alignment of start. Right, cross-axis alignment of start. Then let's reload this and see what we have. All right, so that's what we have. So the next thing is we're going to go for the, see, we have the flavor, then the flavor, then we have the price, which is just going to be in a row with this container that is going to have the ad. So there's literally zero logic here. It's just, these are just placeholders for you to see how you can make these in your applications. All right, so next thing is, so where are we? We're done with the name. Then we go for the price. All right, so firstly, we give it some size box of 20. So we give it some height between the two words, right? So now we give it the text, the name, which is just going to be the product flavor, right? So which is just going to have a style of with this the size of 20. Then it's going to have gray, a little a light is a gray. Then it's going to have the font weight of 500. Let's see what we have. Right, so this is what we have so far. So we also have to give this some padding for it to move, to be in line with the name, right? All right, so we've given it the name, we're giving it the padding as well, so which is just horizontal, which is 16, okay? Then we can reload this. So if we look at this, let's go here, look at it again. So if you look at this, what we have next is this row that is going to have the price and the addition or subtraction, right? So the next thing is pricing, right? All right, so the pricing, then we give it the price and the icons, right? All right, so given it the price is going to be just like we did in the previous one. So it's going to have the color from our up colors, and it's going to have the font weight of 600, right? So the next thing we have to add here is the icons, which is going to also be another row. So we say row, going to have children in there as well. But before we do that, let's wrap this inside the container, right? So this container is going to have properties as well. So it's going to have the color of the product color. Okay. All right. So it's going to have the width of 150, the height of 50, the box decoration of which we're going to have the product color. Okay. Then we're going to have the border radius of which is going to be circular. Then we are going to have children inside the row, and then the child of the container is going to be the row, right? And then this row is going to have these children. Let's go here. These these icons plus the number, the icon again. So let me do that very fast. Right. Okay. So icon. So firstly, we have the remove icon. Right. Let me reload this so that we see it while we're doing it. All right. So we have the add icon. Okay, which is right here. Then we have the this is the remove, sorry. Then we have the add. This is to remove, yeah, this is to be the quantity in the cart to be added. And then we have this number. So this number, you can add some logic here so that you can add and interact with the products inside your cart, right? So this, we just have to format this, right? So we're going to space this evenly, these evenly. So we can come here and space evenly, then we will load. All right, spaced evenly. Then we can come here, and then we have to give it main axis alignment, and then space between here, right? So it's just space between. All right, so this is what we have. Then we can simply just wrap this inside the. Let's wrap it with the padding. Then the padding, we give it symmetric. Then horizontal as well. Horizontal, then we give it 16. All right, so this is what we have so far. So the next thing is we can just copy this so that we give it some spacings between these two. So the pricing, we give it some spacing, reload, format. All right, so that's what we have. So the next thing is, let's go to the design. The next thing is just the description and the buy now button, right? Let's go here. So the next thing is we come out of this row. Okay, padding. So we come out of here. All right, so the next thing we have to do is the description. All right, so the description is just going to be simply be some text. So which is just going to say description. It is going to have the font weight of 600 and the font size of 25. All right, so let's reload that and see what we have. All right, so it has, it's like that. All right, so let's give it some space as well. You can just use it is size box. I want to do this as fast as I can. Right, so you can reload this so that we have some spacings between these two. All right, so there's space, then we can wrap this inside the padding. Right, so we can come here and say there's the padding. Then we've been doing this the entire tutorial. So symmetric, then horizontal, then we give it my favorite 16. Then we reload this, then we're going to see it's going to move this side. So after this padding, then we're going to have the text that describes the product, the specific product that we've picked, right? All right, so the product details. So here we have the text. So the product description is going to, okay, so this is going to be the product description. This is just the product description title. It's not coming from anywhere. So we're going to have the color from our up colors as well. And then we're going to give it a very small text font size, so which is just 16. Then the font weight is just going to be 400. Then we text align, of which we're just going to justify. Then the max lines, we're going to give it is 3. Then we give it an overflow of text overflow dot ellipsis. So we can load this and see what we have on our screen. All right, so this is what we have. So the next thing is we just simply repeat the padding, and you can actually do this for, you can find a way to do this programmatically, right? So that you don't have to keep repeating this. This is so repetitive, right? Okay, so yeah, we have that. Then we can give it some spacings here. Let's copy this between the details and then the title. Right, didn't copy it correctly. Right, so we can give it 10. Right, so let's wait for that to reload. All right, so the next thing is, let's go here. The next thing is we're going to have this button right here, which simply says buy now. All right, so that button is just simply going to be a container. So we say container. All right, so here, container. All right, so this container is going to have the following properties. All right, so the container has the width of double dot infinity, then it has the height of 70, then the box decoration is just going to have the color of the product color, then it's going to have the border radius of 20, right? So this container is going to have a child. All right, so it's going to have a child that is just simply going to say buy now, then it's going to have the text style, right? The text style, it's going to have the color of white from our up colors, then font size 20, then font weight of 600, then it's just the text align, the max lines, and the overflow. So we can reload and see what we have. Right, so as you can see, it's not looking nice, right? So we can simply come here and center it, right? So center that text, okay? And let's go to the design. Then as you can see, there's a huge space between these two, right? So we're going to use the spacer widget. But before we do that, we can wrap this with some padding, right? Padding of which is just going to be symmetric and horizontal, right? So I've given it symmetric and horizontal 16. Then let's reload this. All right, so as we can see, then here between the container and the description, we're just simply going to give it this widget called the spacer, right? Spacer. So the spacer is going to add space between the description details and the button, right? So then that is going to push it so down. So I'm going to get the size box down here. So let's reload this for a bit to see what I mean. All right, so you can see it's pushed the button down to the edge. All right, so down there, I'm going to put the size box with the height of 20. Let's see it pop up a little bit. All right, so this is what we have so far. And then, yeah, I think we're done with the product descriptions page. This is what we have so far. So let's go back to the home screen. Right, so if we were to go here, our app is not complete yet. So we have the new in section down there. So what we have to do is go back to the home screen. All right, so we're going to exit this. Okay, we have the padding. Then down here, we're going to have the new in. So for us to make the new in, we're simply going to have another model, just like this, right? So let's make the new in products, but first we have to make this part as well. So I don't know where we start from, but let's do the hard part, of which is making the model, of which is just simply going to be the same steps. We're going to have the properties and the control a constructor. Then we're going to deserialize it into a Dart object. Then serialize it into a JSON, right? And so then we're going to have a list of products. So the list, we're going to call it the new in products, right? All right, so let's go to the models. So inside the models, we're going to create a new in products to dot. All right, so this is just going to be a class. All right, so the class, we give it the name of the file that we've just made here. So we say new in products. Then we do this. So here, the first thing we're going to have is our properties. So the properties are going to include the ID, the name, the price, just basically everything, almost everything that we had here, right? Right. So let's go back here, do that. So the new in, we have the ID, the name, the category, the image, the price, the description, and the is favorite. So here we next thing we have to do, we have to make is a constructor, right? So a constructor is basically just a function that has the same name as the class. So here we go. This is our new product. Oh, sorry, new in. Then we just simply say products, right? So that error goes. The next thing is we just deserialize it to a dot object, right? So just like we did in the previous section, right? So we deserialized it to a dot object, all right? So the same thing is basically what we're just going to do it using the factory. So it's going to be a factory function. All right, so we deserialize it. Then the next thing is we have to serialize it so that we make this video shorter. All right, so we serialize it next. Then the next thing is we are going to have the mock DB of the products. Well, so we're going to act like we have a database, but we currently don't have, so we just have our local assets that just going to fetch here. Okay, so let's do this. So here we simply start with a static, then we say list. Then list is going to be simply new in product products, just like that. Sorry, my computer has become so slow. All right, so new in products, then we simply call it new product. Then we just assign it, right, to this list. Then inside the list, this is where we're going to have objects. So this is simply a list of objects. So we just paste our objects. So you are actually going to find this code linked in the description of this project. All right, so this is what we have. And so we're done with this part. So let's go to our widgets. So we currently have the filter product. So we can just copy this entire thing down here. Right. So what do we call this other section? So this section is called the new in. So here we can create a new widget. So we can call it new in products dot, which is just also going to be a stateless widget. All right, so down here, we just replace this. Then we can just import everything. So if you, I don't know, dozed off when we were doing, when I was copying this, I have just copied it from the filter we just made earlier. Here, I've just copied this padding, the entire padding, because we have the popular. This is just the popular, the filter right there. So here, we can just come here and remove a little bit of that excessive code. Then we can say the new in. All right, so let's go to the design. So if we go to the design, it says CO. Right, so we have to, we can just copy this, right, and just paste it here. Right, then we replace it with a pink custom, right? Then we reduce this to say 20, and we reload it. All right, so the problem is we have not fetched this in the home screen. All right, so here let's see the spacings that we have. It's not that much spacing. All right, So we're going to give it a sized box of 20. So size box of 20, we give it a height, say 20, right? Then here we do this. All right, so say new in, then we say products. All right, so we import it, then we reload, see what we have. All right, so this is what we have so far. So the next thing is we're going to design the, let me go here. We're going to design this these cards. I don't know if I can actually call this a card or what, but it's a products card as well. So the new in products card. So this is just going to be so easy. This doesn't need much code. Right. So let's get to it. So we go here. So we simply say new in products dot. Sorry, I oh and we say card dot. So this is just simply going to be a card, not the new in products that we had earlier. All right, so the new in products card is also a stateless widget. So this is just simply going to, okay, the root is going to be the row, going to be a row. Then we just simply give it children, right? All right, so to get everyone on the same page, we have this row that is going to have the image. Then we're simply going to have a column that is going to have the name, the type, the price, and then in this root row, we're going to have this part, and then the favorite icon as well. So this is what we're going to do. So firstly, we start with the image, right? So which obviously is going to be inside a clip rect, right? So let's do that. Firstly, we're going to have the image with the new in products. So we have to make this thing. So let's go here. All right, so we say final, then we say new in products from our model, right? Then we say product, right? So products. Then we come here, then just simply require. So we say required. Then we say this dot. And say this dot. Then we just simply say products, right? So here we can just rename this products. Right, so we currently have our image. So this image, we're going to wrap it with the clip rect, right? So that we get the design, we get to this design right here, right? So we can simply come here and say wrap with widget, then we give it a clip rect. All right, clip rect, then we make the image the child. So here we give it a border radius. So border radius, then we give it the border radius of, say, we can give it a border radius of circular. Then we say 25. So we say circular 25. Right. So we're done with this part. So next so the image didn't go through the properties. We have the height of which is 200. Then we give it the width of 100 as well. Right. Then we give it the box feet of contain. Right. So next thing is we're going to have a column that is going to have the name. Let me go back to the blueprint as I pointed for you. We're going to have the name, should be the category, then the price, then the favorite as well. So let's go there. So I simply call it the column details, right? So here we say column, we give it children. All right, so the first thing we start with is the name. So I have to remove this. So products, Then we get the up colors as well. So right, so we have the product name and the style, which is just basically the same thing that we've been doing all along. All right, so here this is our product name. Then the next thing is we get the category inside the column. So say category. I'm butchering this. All right. So we do the category. We can just simply copy this. Let's put it right here. Then we say product. Then we say dot category. Right. So what's the next? Then the price. Right. So we just copy this in. We paste it right here. Then the design is going to change a little bit. We're going to do this. Then backslash. Then we put the price. Then we say products dot price. Then we set it to string as fixed. Then we give it 2, right? So this is what we have so far. Then here, if we go to the design, we have a pinkish. So this is the pink, right? So we go to the custom pink, custom pink, right? Then we can reload this, but this won't show anything because right now, what we have right now, we have to display it in the home screen, on the home screen. So let's go to the home screen. Okay, home screen. So after here, we can give it the size box. So this new in products is just this text right here. Then we can come here and give it let's say 20. Let's maintain it as 20. Then here we're obviously going to have another list view that is going to be in the vertical orientation. But before we do that, we have to come here. We have to do the same thing that we did here. So we say final, then we say new products. We say new products, then we simply say new in. So we're getting this from the new in products model. So then we have to get the list of objects that we made in the new in products. We go to the model, new in products, then we have to access this new product right here. So let's go to the home screen. That's the home screen. Great. So new in products, then we say new products, then we just give it a semicolon down there. So here we go down here, then this is where we're going to have a list view. So we say list view the data. So inside here, so just like we did with the previous one, we're simply going to have the item count. So item count of which is just going to be new products dot, then we get the length of the new products, right? So the next thing here, we're going to have a few new things. So we're going to have a shrink wrap. Okay, so the shrink wrap is going to be true because it's going to constrain the height to only what's needed, right? So we set it to true. Then next thing is we're going to have the physics, right? So the physics, this is going to be never scrollable, right? Never scroll physics, right? So the next thing is we're going to have let's go here. We're going to have the context and the index, just like we did with the previous one, right? So in here, we're firstly going to have a variable. So say new product, right? So then we say new products Then we access the index, right? So the next thing we're going to have here is the return. We're simply just going to return our sized box. So inside the so let's just get the sized box so that we don't constrain the UI. So here we're going to have the height of 100. Then we give it a child. We give it the child is going to be new in product, right? Sorry, we are supposed to get the new in products card. So come here, products, sorry, products card. And we simply import this, right? So this is going to expect an argument. So add the required argument. So the required argument here is going to be the new product, right? So we can come here and just give it a semicolon there. Then this is going to give a few issues, but we're going to resolve them. So let's reload this and see what we have on the screen. All right, so here we go. So this is what we have. If we scroll down here, we go down here, as we can see, it's not really structured, right? So firstly, we are going to give this size box some padding, right? So we wrap it to some padding. With the padding. Then we give it symmetric so that we move it away from the edges. So we say symmetric. Then we give it horizontal, and then we give it 16, right? So let's wait for that. All right, so we can go back to the new in products card here. So right here, if we, so as you can see, it is moved. So from right here, we can see we have this is what is remaining, and then this product is done. Then we have to replace this with something else. So let's go in the in product. So let's say oh, okay, we just remove this in. Then we go back to the new in products card. So here, the next thing that is left is for us to go outside the column, but is still inside the row, so that we add that icon right there, right? All right, so the first thing we're going to add is the heart icon from Font Awesome. So this is just going to have the color of pink from our colors, from our colors. So we can reload, and then we're going to see it somewhere here. All right. All right, so it's right there. So next thing is we're going to come outside here and give it the main axis alignment, right? So we're going to give it a main axis alignment of should space evenly, right? No space between, since we have two things inside there, right? So space between, then we reload. Right, so then we can come here and wrap this with an expanded. Just expanded. Right, so wrap this with an expanded. Right, so then let's go to the column, and then we give it a cross axis alignment of start. Right, so that brings it this side. So far so good, right? Looks almost like it. So we just have to give it some spacings a little bit, right? Right, so as we can see, they're not fully aligned. So we can come here and give it a cross axis alignment. Okay, start, reload. All right, so that has moved. All right, so what's next? Let's go here. Okay, so far so good. We just have to give it some spacings between the image the column, right? So we can come here between the image, the column. So we give it a size box with width 5. Then we reload that. Right, so that's what we have. Then we can come inside here. Then just give it a sized box 10, say the column, so that it moves down a little bit. So this is what we have so far. And let's compare it to the finished version. So we can zoom out a little bit. So yeah, this is how you can make this, and that's how easy it is to design this, guys. So yeah, so if you like this, you can, you know, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so that you can see more designs like this. So let's go through the project again. So let's see, we have a horizontal list view of products that have individual background colors. So if we go here, it has its own background color. If we go on the first one, it has its own individual color, and the design is a little bit uniform apart from the colors. So we can go here. So you can build up on top of this. You can add your own logic where you can, if you press on the add to cart, it adds the, you can see it counting on top here. You can see the count of the products inside the cart. Then you can add some payments, or you can just use this as a blueprint and just use it for something else, let's say, and or you can just use this to learn some certain principles of Flutter. So yeah, this is what I had for you today, guys. So with all that said, see you in the next video.